What's up guys, my name is Marian and welcome back to a brand new YouTube video. Now hold on a second, I have to answer this phone call real quick. Hello? What? I haven't recorded a YouTube video in a month. I've been fired. From where? How is that possible?
A few moments later.
So getting off of that mysterious phone call guys, today we'll be talking about my job.
Well, you might ask yourself, well, Marian, what is your job?
And as an answer to that, you should go watch this video. Now, in case if you haven't watched my last video, yes, I actually used to work in a hotel as a receptionist, also known more formally as a guest service assistant. So I worked at this hotel for a little bit over a year, and over that year, I gathered quite a few odd experiences. Now, before we get into the first memory, guys, do you see these eyes? Do you see that a slightly darker blue shade? Well, guess what? It's because I have a Christian virgin shell on them that actually used to make them brighter, but due to this memory, the shell kind of burnt off and I now have basically virginless eyes. So on that day, basically what happened was I walk into my shift at 6:45 in the morning, which is I find a bit too early, but anyways, I started doing my normal stuff and at around 7:15, 7:30, a guy bollock naked comes downstairs telling me to call an ambulance. Obviously, Detective Marian came into play and realized that something bad has obviously happened since the guy's girlfriend came downstairs and she asked for drinks, but she seemed in a bit either of a hurry or she seemed quite mad since she told me to give her the drinks. She was being quite aggressive and then she also told my manager apparently her boyfriend's gonna beat her up. But anyway, so after the guy told me to call the ambulance, he kind of just disappeared out of my sight and then he somehow managed to go back up to his room, bollock naked. And the one thing is that he manages to take his girlfriend's purse, which had her car keys, her house keys, her money, her wallet. And the thing is that bear in mind, this girlfriend has a cut across her arm from a broken wine glass. And then pretty much what happens is the guy puts on some joggers and then he just runs outside through one of the fire exits, but the girlfriend chases after him. So like he has her purse in his hand. So as he's running outside, the girl is obviously chasing after him, but obviously I don't think she knew what she was doing because her brain was concentrating more on her cut rather than what she was doing. So pretty much what happened is he runs outside in just his joggers. She runs after him, but she decides halfway through to just return back and come through the main entrance. But the one thing is, she had nothing on but just a blouse that covered her breast and nothing else. Nothing else. Now obviously me being the Christian boy that I was at that time, I only tried to smile back at her as the woman was going through reception because for some odd reason she smiled at me. And also not to mention the fact that as this woman was crossing by the main reception, my brain was constantly having a fight between my eyesight of whether my eyes should go lower or just keep at the same level as her face. Now obviously we all know what happened, and also not to mention that when this abomination of an event happened, it happened on a Sunday, and guess what? Little Marian over here had to work for 3 Sundays in a row after this event happened. You know, you'd think after this event happened, maybe we shouldn't put little Marian on a shift that is very demanding. Now it's the Sunday after I lost my virgin shells. That doesn't sound quite right. It's a Sunday morning where everyone is just chilling at breakfast area, and then breakfast is just finished and this Italian group obviously comes around because they had an early flight, I'm assuming, and they just kind of come in. We didn't obviously have any rooms ready because the checkout time is at 12 or 2 at latest, so obviously no one has checked out yet, so we just kind of find a free room, going to check in, and they just kind of put in their luggages in there. And what happened afterwards is that they gathered outside to obviously go and explore the area locally, and for some god knows reason why, this guy just has a chocolate bar as big as my face hanging halfway outside of his window. And obviously due to the matter of physics, the chocolate bar wasn't balanced correctly, so it falls down. It nearly hits the guy in the face. It was like this close. Well, I didn't really see it. It's just that the way how the guy explained it to me, that's what I thought it was like. And we obviously called the guy in the room to tell him to come downstairs and explain why he has a chocolate bar melting when it's about to start raining. It was cloudy to begin with from the early morning, and well, I mean that was his excuse, that he was just, it was too hard for his teeth because, you know, the man's 30 years old and he's actually 60 in terms of his teeth condition. And obviously after this event happened, we kind of realized that we should never take a reservation from them ever again. And you might wonder why. Well, it's because every time when I'd come into my shift, I'd always have to hear about they'll talk that much that you can even hear them through the walls. And also not to mention mention the fact that they also run every day. I would always hear the guests complaining about how they run in the evening, they run at night time, they run in the morning time. At one point it got that we all thought that they might as well be attending the London Marathon that was happening at that time. Now obviously after this Italian group left, you'd think everything has gone to normal, right? No. So the group left on Friday, and then on following day, which is a Saturday, the suspicious guy who, well, he didn't really look too suspicious, but when he checked in, because he didn't really make too much noise. But the morning after, we met something that none of us would have ever expected. So in the morning, we're like midway through breakfast, and this guy comes downstairs and just, there's 2 front seats at the entrance. So usually people sit there to either wait for a cab or just to read the newspapers or just wait for like someone to pick them up. But this guy just comes downstairs and just chills there, like, and has headphones through his phone. So like I'm sat here, he sat diagonally across from me, and I saw him with headphones plugged in, and like he was talking to the stuff, and he was talking to his phone. And the one thing is that I was wondering what he was talking to for so long, because he was talking for like a little bit over an hour or two. And I just go to the last section of the reception, and I tried to look over to glance at his phone. He was talking to a Snapchat story. And then later on, like, he comes up close to us and he shows us, like, he turns his phone for like a split second and then he turns it back to him. How am I supposed to react to that? Do you expect me to have inhuman reactions? But anyway, so I saw this guy going over from a set of seats that was facing the main entrance to another set of seats that was just facing the breakfast area, so you can like see where everything is happening. Obviously that's when the last time I saw him, because I got called over to go and like help out the breakfast people. I went and I collected a bunch of plates and I brought them back into the kitchen. And when I come back outside, it's like I was entering a war. The guy nearly grabbed a flower vase. I don't know for God knows reason why. He had the flower vase just laying around on the tables. He grabbed the flower vase and he nearly smacked it onto someone's head. And that's kind of when my brain kind of lost track of everything until the police arrived. And then the police arrived, they tried to corner him. And the police told us that apparently he had schizophrenia or something like that. Now obviously guys, as this video is coming to an end, so did my job of being a receptionist came to an end due to many reasons as to why I quit. But anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, then make sure to give me a thumbs up, subscribe down there somewhere, I don't know where exactly, depends on what you're watching, and I maybe will see you in the next 2 months or maybe earlier. I'll see you guys next time.